Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the 2023 top 10s, as we are going to look at my number 6 super middleweight in the world right now, the former 3-time world title challenger, Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So, Sergiy Derevyanchenko entered the year at middleweight, so he wasn't even ranked at super middleweight, and there really hadn't been a lot of talks about him moving up in weight, but he got an opportunity to face off against Jaime Munguia in June at super middle, and he took it because it was a big fight. He had signed with Golden Boy, and he wanted to, get that big fight. And again, another fighter that I think overlooked Derevyanchenko, but for good reason to an extent. I mean, I don't ever think you should overlook any fighter, especially a fighter like Sergiy, who's just hungry, always comes in really good shape, and is always ready to fight. But Derevyanchenko was 37, and so it was like, okay, this guy, I got this guy, I'm going to beat him. For sure, especially Munguia being only Munguia's only 27. So I could understand that, but to an extent, like I said, like thinking you're going to blow a guy out of the water. But this is exactly why you don't look at a fight that way, because he went out, Derevyanchenko, 10 years older, and hustled with Jaime Munguia, all tooth and nail, all the way down to the wire. He got knocked down in the 12th round, but this is a fight that ended by a 12-round unanimous decision in favor of Munguia. But it was a fight a lot of people thought that Derevyanchenko might have won. So it was a fight of the year candidate, and at 37 years old, for him to turn in a performance like that, how do you ignore what this guy has done? You look at his record and you're like, oh, this guy hasn't done shit. He's 14-5, with 10 knockouts. But look at those 5 losses in his career. Daniel Jacobs, for the vacant IBF middleweight title, was overlooking him. He fought Jacobs to a 12-round split decision. Triple G, for the vacant IBF title, was overlooking him. Triple G scored a knockdown, and Derevyanchenko went to war with Triple G in a fight of the year candidate that ended by a 12-round unanimous decision in favor of Triple G, very similar to the fight with Munguia, and in a fight that a lot of people thought Derevyanchenko should have won. Then he loses to Jamal Charlo in what I believe was the only time a guy didn't overlook Derevyanchenko. And Charlo beat him convincingly over 12 rounds. He outworked him, outclassed him, but Charlo knew the kind of fight he was getting into, heading into that. But Derevyanchenko still finished the fight. He fought hard and went the full distance. Then he lost a split decision over 10 rounds to Carlos Adames just a couple years back. Very close fight. And then he loses to Munguia by a unanimous decision. I mean, Derevyanchenko is a guy that is just always there and ready to fight. And this year, heading in, a title shot I think is out of the question, most likely, because Canelo is the undisputed champion. He's not going to fight Derevyanchenko. He's got his year pretty much set. And then David Morrell might be interested, but these two guys fight on 2 different networks. Derevyanchenko's a Golden Boy now, and David Morrell, the WBA regular champion, is a PBC guy. So I don't think a title shot is in his future, but what could be in his future is a potential rematch with Jaime Munguia if Munguia doesn't get Canelo. Also, if John Ryder pulls off the victory over Munguia this year, we know John Ryder is not going to fight Canelo again. So maybe Ryder and Derevyanchenko can lock horns. Then there's other guys like Diego Pacheco, who's on the rise, that wants to make a name for himself. Derevyanchenko is ready to fight whoever, whenever. And I think Golden Boy really needs to be smart and set him up against a good, solid-ass fighter on the rise. Or, like I said, take a look at John Ryder and Jaime Munguia, and if Ryder comes out victorious, or even if that fight's close, have these two guys, these two older veterans, slug it out later in the year. But Derevyanchenko was supposed to come back on last week's Golden Boy card. I do think we're going to see him soon coming back on another card to try to make a name for himself and get back out there. So we'll see what he does. But I think Derevyanchenko needs to get 2 fights in this year as a veteran and try to get a big fight at least towards the middle of the second half of the year against a top-tier opponent to continue to try to get right back in that title fight mix. But I think Derevyanchenko will finish the year in the top 10. How do you like that? I do think he's going to finish the year in the top 10 still. Don't know about the top 5. It depends on who he gets and if he beats them. But I do think he has potential to be there in the top 5. So we'll see. But that's it. That's what I got. That is my 2023 top 10s, continuing with my number 6 super middleweight in the world right now, former 3-time world title challenger, Sergiy Derevyanchenko. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.